Today, we're going to dive into the story of an alphabet that's so incredibly well designed, it's considered one of the greatest intellectual achievements in history. We are talking about Hangul, the Korean alphabet, and trust me, the story behind it is absolutely amazing. So just imagine this for a second. You have your own language, your own rich culture, a voice, but you have no way to write any of it down. For hundreds of years, that was the reality for the vast majority of people in Korea. So the question is, how do you even begin to fix a problem that massive? And this right here shows you the problem perfectly. On the left, you've got this incredibly complex Chinese character. On the right, the same word in Korean. You see, back in the 15th century, Koreans spoke Korean, but they had to write using thousands of these Chinese characters. The problem was, the languages are built completely differently. It was like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It just didn't work. And this wasn't just an inconvenience. It had devastating, real-world consequences. Because most people couldn't read or write, they couldn't petition the government if they were wronged. They couldn't read books about how to be a better farmer or even about basic morality. They were totally silenced, forced to suffer injustice with no way to fight back. But then, along came a king who actually saw this suffering and decided he had to do something about it. This is King Sejong the Great. He's the hero of our story. He wasn't just a ruler, he was a brilliant innovator, and he was driven by this incredible compassion for his people. Now, this is the really crucial part. King Sejong didn't look at his people and think they were foolish for not being able to learn thousands of Chinese characters. No, the records show he felt they were pitiable. He saw their struggle and he wanted to give them a tool, a new writing system that would finally empower them to express themselves. So, in 1443, he did it. He created a brand new alphabet, and he called it Hangeul. The name itself tells you everything you need to know about his goal: the correct sounds for the instruction of the people. This was designed from the ground up for everyone. Which, brings us to the big question. How in the world do you just invent a new writing system, especially one that's simple, elegant, and fits your language perfectly? Well, King Sejong's solution was nothing short of genius, a beautiful blend of science and philosophy. Let's start with the consonants, because this is where the science comes in. The design is based on something every single one of us has: a mouth. The letters are literally little diagrams of the shape your tongue and throat make when you produce a sound. Let's see how this works. Okay, take this first consonant. It makes a g or k sound. See that shape? It's basically a drawing of the back of your tongue rising up to block your throat. Go ahead, try saying ga. You can feel it. You're literally looking at a picture of a sound. Or how about this one? This letter makes an N sound. And yup, you guessed it, its shape mimics the tip of your tongue touching the ridge right behind your upper teeth. Say na. You feel that? It's right there. So incredibly intuitive. And here's where the system gets really clever. Once you have those basic shapes, you just build on them. So you take that basic G sound and you add one little stroke. What do you get? A stronger, more breathy K sound. This beautiful internal logic makes the whole alphabet ridiculously easy to learn. Okay, so the consonants are scientific diagrams. Super cool. But the vowels? Oh, the vowels are a whole different story. They're philosophical. Their design is based on this really profound idea about how the entire universe is constructed. That idea is called Samje, or the three realms. And it's this core concept in Eastern philosophy that says everything in existence is based on a trio of elements: heaven, earth, and humanity. And King Sejong took this huge cosmic idea and distilled it into three incredibly simple vowel shapes. A single dot represents the round, infinite heaven. A flat horizontal line is the stable earth, and a vertical line represents a human, standing right between heaven and earth. But the true genius is how these simple shapes combine. Every single vowel sound in Korean is made by just mixing and matching these three core shapes. Put the human next to heaven and you get the ah sound. Put heaven above the earth and you get the o sound. It's like a cosmic recipe for language. But here's the wild part. For nearly 500 years, the incredible genius behind this system was a complete mystery. The design principles were totally lost, and people had to come up with their own theories. One of the most popular was that the shapes were just copied from the pretty patterns on traditional window frames. And then, in 1940, a discovery was made that changed everything. Tucked away in an old house, a document was found. It was the Hanmin Jungam Harebon. Basically, the original user's manual for the alphabet, published by King Sejong himself. It explained everything, the science, the philosophy, the whole design. The mystery was finally solved. So let's just quickly recap this unbelievable journey. The alphabet gets created in 1443, it's announced to the world in 1446, but its true genius wasn't fully understood again until that lost manual was found almost 5 centuries later, in 1940. Just incredible. So what's the legacy of this amazing invention? Well, the result is just staggering. Today, South Korea has a literacy rate of around 99%, one of the highest on the entire planet. That is the direct result of an alphabet designed with empathy, a tool made not for the elite, but for absolutely everyone. And that really brings us to a final thought. King Sejong didn't just invent letters on a page. He created a solution that was rooted in deep empathy for his people. And it makes you wonder, if we could take that same principle of compassionate design and apply it to a problem in our world today, what would we choose to fix?